What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 87 of the Game Room Podcast. I'm Rome.
And I'm Dev.
Dev, how was your New Year's?
It was fun. It was nice.
It was good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
You quiet. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was quiet. I was actually asleep before the New Year's started, so I woke up because of the fireworks right outside my room, and it was like 11:59. So.
See, I've always opened at work the day after, or like New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So, like, for me,
You're in bed.
Well, so here's the thing. So where I'm at now, we actually go in a little bit later on New Year's Day, so I didn't have to be until 7:30.
Okay.
Which isn't like terrible. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like, all right, like, you know, we stayed up to watch the ball drop.
You're in bed at 12:01.
I would say like 12:15, but
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, try to enjoy the New Year's as best you can, but you know. We got some snow today. Did you enjoy
it's
that?
still snowing.
Is it snowing right now?
Yeah. On my way here, it's been snowing for the past.
Oh.
Yeah.
It stopped when I left work today.
I think if you move, we'll
Oh,
do it
wow.
later. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been snowing for it's yeah.
That's cool. There was someone I
supposed to be
work
more.
with today, actually, and so she's from Spain. Never seen snow a day in her life.
Oh wow! So this is her first.
The first snow,
That's cool.
like, it was so cool to see someone like
Experience.
Like,
snow
she
for
was
the
kinda
first
like-
time.
I sent her on break, and she was kind of out there just like looking through the window, and she primarily speaks Spanish. So like I walk over and I'm just like, you know, muy bonito, you know, it's very, very beautiful, and she's like, yeah, it's really nice, and it was so cool. And like, she went out with another coworker, they were throwing snowballs at each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
She got the whole experience, and I was like, that was like a heartwarming
Yeah, that's fun.
thing for me. But anyway, so we are back. It is 2025. We somehow have survived another year.
I didn't think we'd make it.
Bro, I don't even know if we're gonna make it to 2026. This might
No,
be
this
the
is
last-
definitely last year, but
Yeah, this is the season finale, the
Yeah.
series finale. As I've said all along, I said it was the Grand Theft Auto it was the
I
video
mean,
game.
it coincides.
It's everything. It's not
Yeah.
just I was looking micro. I need to look macro, where it's like it's not the video game series finale. It's everything. But in the meantime, we're going to be talking video games and all that stuff. Like I said, this is the Game Room Podcast. We are going to be doing our 2024 wrap-up and grades and 2025 previews and predictions. But because we didn't do a show last week, which would have been the preview, prediction show, whatnot, this week we actually do have a few headlines to get into. So we're going to get into the headlines first. So a lot of rumors, some other stuff, and then we'll get into the wrap-ups and, you know, previews and stuff like that. So let's get right into it. Number one in the headlines, PlayStation, after a year of ups and downs with the live service model, obviously high and low, you have Helldivers, which is meteoric success, and then you have Concord, which, RIP,
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's not a meteoric success. PlayStation is not giving up on live service games anytime soon. In a recent interview with Japanese outlet Famitsu, PlayStation co-CEO Herman Holst said the company still believes in the model despite recent hiccups like Concord. Quote, the games business is constantly changing due to various factors, including technological advances, new genres, and ways of playing, Holst said via auto translation. However, one thing that remains constant is people's desire for great entertainment experiences, and attention to games continues to grow. However, this has also created competition, and like many companies in the industry, we've had to make changes to our business to solidify a more sustainable operating base. Holst continues saying that PlayStation will continue to focus on developing live service titles, along with the story-driven single-player titles that our players want. As to why it's a continued effort towards the live service model, Holst pointed to Helldivers 2's success as a reason. The co-op title from Arrowhead Game Studios showed how a live service game can succeed in the modern era, and it's something that Sony and PlayStation are paying attention to. He goes on to say that they're learning a lot from the experience with Helldivers 2, and that's going to kind of shift and shape how they do things in the future. Now, Dev, I mean, like, I think, obviously, I'm very critical of the games as a service model. I do think it can work. I know you're a lot more understanding and forgiving of the model, or at least more of a believer than I am. What do you think PlayStation needs to do to take this model and succeed with it? Because again, we saw this year, like we saw Helldivers 2 and how it's done well.
Mm-hmm.
Concord comes out and it's just so unimaginative. It is literally, in my opinion, a by the book live service game. It was very generic. It didn't have a lot going for it. It was a very like basic
No,
arena shooter. And this is my perception.
But I think you're right though. I think Concord came out and it was like
It was dead on arrival.
yeah, and the thing is, gameplay wise, everyone who played it said it played well. It was just like you said, it was unimaginative. They tried to do something new, and no one was interested in it. And then you see what Marvel Rivals comes out, and that's like the biggest game right now on Steam.
Because it has an IP though.
I know, but it has an IP attached. But I mean, like, it can work. It can work. They can build something. They can build these live service games and feed people, games that people want. Like you said, like Helldivers 2 was amazing. I didn't even play the game, and I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
I was enjoying everything that came out of it. So
Right.
yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of what, like, that's just, I think that if you look at Helldivers 2 and you look at Concord, you see one game kind of giving players an experience that really wasn't there on the market before.
Yeah.
And then you look at Concord, which, again, been there, done that. It didn't really do anything new. I mean, and granted, they were kind of talking about how it was going to be very story-driven, and they were excited to do that in the future.
Yeah, there were some new things in it, but I think it was a $70 or $60 game. You know what I mean? That's
people weren't playing the free beta.
Yeah, it's a lot of they were shooting themselves in the foot over and over and over again.
Honestly, I think as critical as I am about the live service model, I think I can narrow down why I'm not a believer in it, and I think Concord is a big example of that. And like when I think about it, it's like with a game as a service game, you're not thinking about launch month. You're thinking, well, we need a roadmap. Yeah. We need to make sure if a game launches and it's not fun to play, it does not matter what you're planning a year down the line. Mm-hmm. You look at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They had like 30 seasons planned out for this game. Like with all the Brainiacs and the characters, they had so many plans for this game. But guess what? The game launched and it was dead on arrival. Mm-hmm. A lot like Concord. And I think that like at the end of the day, if you want to do expansions, if you want to do extra stuff, that's great. But you need to make sure your game is launching in a good state. And I know that some games kind of do miracle their way out of that box, like Fallout 76, for example, which launched hell, terrible, like broken, not enough features, not enough content. But, you look at it now, it's 5 years later, 6 years, whatever it's been, and they've really turned it around. I think it's more like 7 at this point, which is crazy. But, like, not every game gets that lucky.
Yeah, no. Because
it had the Fallout IP behind it. So
I think was it last week or the week before we talked about the Ubisoft game getting an update this year, right?
Yeah, Skull and Bones. It's getting a year of content.
Yeah.
It's like, how is that going to work? Nobody bought the game. What is their plan? I don't understand that. I don't know. But okay.
But it's not too worrying. I think they're fine. They had one flop. They still got Marathon, which I had to B-roll up. They have other games that they're
but most of the games that they're working on outside of
Marathons looks like it's just going to be an extraction shooter. Did you see? I don't know if you saw that, but it was like they're hiring people for Marathon, and it was like games they wanted them to play before you can get into it. I did see that. And a lot of them were extraction shooters, so that makes me assume that Marathon's going to be an extraction shooter, which isn't new. But I think there'll be something. I think there'll be something tied to it that'd be fine. So we'll see.
Yeah. Number 2 in the headlines. So I'm confused about this, right? Because the way I read this article, it sounds like we knew that Half-Life 3 is a thing, right? And like I was under the impression that there was no confirmation that Half-Life 3 existed. It was a running joke of the internet for literally over a decade at this point. But apparently, according to Insider Gaming, Half-Life 3 not only exists, but it's moved on to its next stage of playtesting. The highly anticipated Half-Life 3 has moved to the next round of playtesting, it's been claimed. That's according to Gabe Follower, who has a history of leaking similar information on previous Valve titles, most notably Deadlock last year. According to Gabe Follower, his sources have revealed that HLX, Half-Life 3, started playtests for family and friends of Valve developers in the past few months. While the information doesn't give us much to go off of about what Half-Life 3 could entail, it does tell us that the project is now at a fundamental stage of development and could see the game delayed further if it does not resonate well with the new playtests. I was so confused by this because I was like, wait, so like Half-Life 3 is like, so it does exist. Okay, great. Like it was such a weird story because it was like there was no like, hey guys, it exists or stuff like that. And now like one of the actors from the Half-Life games, the guy in the suit, he like teased something for this year. And people are like, wait, is Half-Life 3 really going to come out? Is that really a thing? I didn't know Valve was still making games like that, really, especially ones that end in a 3.
So I read something today about there's a new chip that one of the companies are making. I don't remember it, but it's a portable gaming chip. So people are kind of speculating that the Valve Index 2 might be on the way along with other portables. And then Valve likes to drop games with hardware. So maybe, who knows?
If they're making Half-Life 3, Gabe, it's time for Left 4 Dead 3. You got to do it.
Well, the world's ending. They don't have time for everything.
Well, no, Left 4 Dead 3 comes out after the world ends. Because it's Left 4 Dead 3. It's zombies. That's going to be the whole thing. Gabe's like, we knew it was coming, so we were working on this.
Okay. That's an AR game where you have to go out
right.
and...
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Next up in the headlines, Microsoft could be bringing new haptic motors to their Xbox controllers. First found by Tech for Gamers, a recently filed patent suggests that Xbox controllers will get new haptic feedback features sometime soon. According to the patent's abstract, the new motor features a housing, connector, and haptic motor. Upon activation, the haptic motor will move relative to the housing to generate the haptic feedback. In the patent description, it's claimed that the haptic motor can be dynamically tuned for device optimization. What's more is that it's said that the motor can create two types of vibration in order to increase the depth and feel of the feedback. Based on the full contents of the document, it suggested that players would get more personalized experience with the new motors. Quote, the concepts described herein enhance a haptic response of a device by incorporating haptic subcomponents into a moving or flexible mechanical architecture of the device that allows for the haptic motor to move relative to the housing of the device, the patent reads. This allows for a lower cost, weight, size, and energy-consuming haptic component to perform similar to a larger haptic component, or to enhance the haptic response of a larger component. According to Jez Corden of Windows Central, this new controller isn't likely to launch before the next generation of Xbox hardware. So, could this be the feature of the next generation of Xbox controllers?
That sounds about right.
See, I've never been like a PlayStation controller guy, like the DualShock and then the Dual Edge. Like, I don't like the layout of it. It's just not my controller of choice. But like that Dual Edge is just so.
It's nice.
It's so good in terms of like what they have going on inside, where it's like the haptic feedback and the haptic triggers and stuff. I would love for Xbox to follow suit with that, because as much as I love the Xbox hardware, like the PS5 controller is just because of the haptics alone. I think it really kind of sets it above and beyond outside of the layout for me personally. Number 4 in the headlines, Hideo Kojima's OD and Physint suffered delays due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. In a post, Kojima gave players an update on where things stand with his 3 main projects, Death Stranding 2, OD, and Physint. Regarding Death Stranding 2, he says the team started to play and build up the game over the summer after working on music production, Japanese voice recording, and more. For the other 2 games, however, there have been hiccups. First, with OD, Kojima says that the game development continued along with actor and environment scanning. In the second half of the year, though, scanning and filming was suspended due to the strike. For Physint, casting was suspended because of the strike. Kojima said that the hold is to resume next year. That's as long as a deal is reached, of course. The current SAG-AFTRA strike began in July after 18 months of negotiations over AI protections for video game actors. As of publishing, there is no update on where the talks stand. It's just an unfortunate side effect. I mean, we kind of knew this was coming. We were going to see delays like this. I mean, I don't think we were going to get OD next year anyway.
No.
But, I mean...
It's going to take even longer now.
Yeah, it's going to take even longer, so...
Whatever that game is,
OD.
Yeah, I still don't know.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. I mean, the tech they show alone is just... I mean, what you're showing right now...
Yeah.
It's just insane. Next up in the headlines, Xbox's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle success has Disney wanting more. According to Jez Corden on the Xbox 2 podcast, he says, a Disney insider suggested that there was going to be more Indiana Jones games. And I will say on my end, I've also heard that Disney picked up the phone and wants more Indiana Jones. Now, there was some discussion. It might have been on this same podcast with Jez Corden on the Xbox 2, but he said that success can be measured differently in a sense that what Disney and Xbox view as a success are two different things. So Disney's very happy with the game.
Okay.
They're very happy with the performance of the game right now, whether it be on Steam, Xbox, Game Pass, whatever it is, they're very happy with it. Now, the rumors don't really say what Xbox wants to do, which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we talk about that licensing fee. I mean, I'm sure Disney is happy that Xbox paid them that licensing fee.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you should make another one of these games. Give us more money and make these games.
I think they're also happy with the quality of it. So maybe.
Yeah. I've been playing it, and we're going to talk more about it later. But, like, it's so good. They really just nailed it completely. And if I'm Disney, hell yeah, I want more. Hell yeah. I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling Xbox. I'm calling Phil Spencer, and I'm like, Phil, we got to figure something out here. We got to make another one because it's really good.
Okay.
And, like, I want another Wolfenstein, but, like, if Machine Games is tasked with making another Indiana Jones game, I don't know if I can say no to that.
Yeah.
Personally. But we'll see, though. I mean, Disney definitely wants one. So, if I'm Xbox, you take it. You do it. Like,
yeah, I think so.
Because, like, yes, you got to pay that fee, but you'll still make sales. It's not like you're not going to make a profit on this game.
And I also think Disney would probably lower the cost of the fee, whatever the fee is, if they want it that badly.
Yeah, if they do. I mean, you go to the table, you negotiate. Like, all right, you want this game? Well,
it's gonna
you charge us 10% or whatever your sales. Maybe bump it down to 8 or 7. That's just I'm sure that's not how it works. Like the number wise, but. Devereaux is January 6th. And as of January 3rd, the first gaming layoffs of 2025 are in. We're starting off with a small dosage, though.
Okay.
Netmarble FNC is laying off roughly 25% of the company, which is only 20 people. Netmarble FNC is a subsidiary of the mobile games company Netmarble. The studio is currently working on a new game, Demi's Reborn, which is scheduled to release sometime in 2025. According to YNA, the game's art style and overall atmosphere were significantly revised in order to better suit adult taste.
Okay.
Number 7 in the headlines, Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to LG Smart TVs. Microsoft has announced that it is bringing Xbox Cloud Gaming to LG Smart TVs. The company says that the deal will bring the feature to new LG Smart TVs later this year. With Xbox Cloud Gaming, LG Smart TV owners who are Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will be able to stream games from the library within the gaming portal. In addition to games in the service, players will also be able to stream their select games that they happen to own on the TVs as well. This gives players even more choice in how they enjoy their favorite games, Corporate Vice President of Xbox Lori Wright said. We'll share more details on the cloud gaming experience with LG TV in the coming months. It's currently unclear if any older models will get access to the feature in the future, though. I mean, this just kind of continues with Xbox's Play Anywhere strategy. I mean, you're already on the Fire Stick. I think it's a smart move to branch. And they're on Samsung TVs, too. So now you're going to be on Samsung and LG. I mean, you think they'll ever show up on Sony Smart TVs?
Probably, yeah. It'll be just an app, right?
The PlayStation guys are like, what the fuck are you doing over there? Stop it. No, I don't think that. I don't know if they'll be on Sony TVs.
We'll see. It's just an app,
Maybe. I don't know. Number 8 on the headlines. There's a big rumor making the rounds today about the next generation Xbox console. The news comes from X account The Ghost of Hope, who has a history of posting primarily Call of Duty leaks. According to Hope, he says that he's heard the next Xbox console is still coming in 2026. The name of the console will be Xbox Prime.
Okay.
Now, here's an update that it must have happened at least under an hour and a half ago, because I put this on here like 2 hours ago. Jez Corden says there's no such thing as Xbox Prime launching in 2026. So you know what? Throw it out. Never mind. Right. There you go. Thanks, Jez.
It did feel a little bit too early. It felt like
I don't think it's too early.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's too early.
Okay.
But I mean, to be fair, he said his wording was very specific. He said there's nothing called Xbox Prime launching in 2026.
Okay.
You got
very specific.
Dev, see, here's the thing. You got to learn how to listen to what the leakers say.
Yeah.
When the leakers say things, you got to read between the lines. Jez knows.
It doesn't. What I mean is, it doesn't feel like it feels too early for next generation. It feels like this is the half. The
problem is that Xbox and PlayStation. This is a complaint about both of them. I mean, I don't think either of them really did a great job this generation. I mean, I think that's just me personally. So they're gonna move to the next gen for whatever reason, and that's just what it is. Yeah. Number 9, our last headline before we get into the previews and all that stuff. Very small, quick story, but one of Switch 2's first games may have been revealed. As found by Dr.81, a developer who claims to have worked on Gotham Knights has listed the game on his resume for 2 unannounced platforms. The first of which is expected to be the Switch. However, the other unannounced platforms seems likely to be the Switch 2.
Makes sense.
So, in the double digits, how many Gotham Knights copies are going to sell on Super Switch?
Probably,
like 35?
Yeah.
40? I mean, at that point, you have the work done. I mean, you might as well port it. It's the same thing as like the Xbox strategy, where it's like, whatever, man, just put it elsewhere. But I mean, I haven't played Gotham Knights, but at least it's better than Suicide Squad. It seems, at least.
I don't know.
I think it looks better than Suicide Squad, personally. And that is coming from someone who hasn't played either of them, but have watched enough of both. I don't know. All right. Again, that was it for the headlines. We kind of breezed through them, but a lot of it's rumors. The year, it's 2025, but the year hasn't really like kicked off yet. Like you'll see when we talk about the game releases for this week. So now let's get into the main topics of the show, which is our 2024-2025 wrap-ups, predictions, and previews. First, Ev, we're going to start with predictions. Now, admittedly, and this is not your fault, I had this idea right before we went live, where we should play a game where we're going to make some predictions here. And we're going to see at the end of the year, when we do next year's pod, after the world's ended, how many we got right.
If we're still alive.
If we're still alive.
Yeah.
So let's shoot for 5 each. Let's see where this goes, because we are we're doing this on the fly, but we'll see. Would you like to go first and make a prediction about gaming this year? It can be tech related, it could be announcement related, it could be reception related, it could be anything gaming related.
I think I already know. I mean, it's only the 6th, but I think I already know what the game of the year is.
Okay, what do you? Okay, so number 1, what are we talking about? Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year award?
Yeah, or just I think across the board, it's going to be
the game majority.
Of the year. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think it's going to be?
I think it's GTA 6. I mean, that feels like a slam dunk. That was the easiest one I could think of.
Okay. You ready for my first prediction?
What is your first prediction?
I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be delayed.
Ooh, that's a good one.
To spring 2026.
That's a good one.
So, right off the bat, one of us is getting points.
Yeah.
One of us is getting points.
I like that. That's a good one, though.
So, I'm going to write GTA 6 will be delayed.
That's betting on the underdog. They've been adamant about it. Hey, not getting delayed. But I could 100% seeing it get delayed. So I mean, for quality assurance, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I could 100% see
I mean,
that.
We could talk about it more when we actually do the preview part, because GTA 6 is obviously in the lineup for the previews.
Yeah.
I think where there's smoke, there's fire, and I feel like we've seen enough little tidbits where it's just like, yeah, I'm sure Take-Two as a company want to push GTA 6 out this year.
But I don't think Rockstar will put out a...
No, and that's where my gut tells me make this prediction, where it'll be delayed to spring 2026. Yeah. All right, what's your prediction number 2?
Oh man, they're coming at me fast.
Again, I didn't give any thought to this either, so like we're doing this.
I'm gonna say Pokemon Black White remake. For whatever's on the next Switch.
Black 1, White 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 2. Like I don't know what they'll do.
I mean, we'll put Black White remake and we'll see what happens.
Because I don't know what they'll do if they're combining the two and all that stuff, but I think we'll see that this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2, and I'm going to keep it in the same realm once again, Pokemon related. I'm predicting that a year from now, when we're doing this podcast where we're counting the points, see who wins.
Yeah.
The Pokemon games, the mainline Pokemon games, Gens 1, 2, 3, will not be on NSO still.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
That's an easy one. Unlike your GTA 8 prediction, that one's a short shot. Nintendo won't do anything.
It shouldn't be, though.
I know.
That should be a bold prediction. All right, go with your number 3.
Man, this is rough. Oh man, I wish you gave me time to think about this.
I know. I mean, we could shelf it for a week if you want.
I think we see gameplay of the next Elder Scrolls game.
Okay.
Sometime this year.
Elder Scrolls 6. Okay. Again, keeping it same, because I was thinking about this just now, Xbox related. I think Gears of War E-Day releases this year.
Okay. That sounds like another short shot.
I think it's... Is it a short shot? I don't think it's a short shot.
You don't think so?
They just announced it last year. But I guess they were working on it. I don't know. But so. I'll tell you what. You want me to spice it up? You think it's not good enough? I think by the next time we're doing a podcast, Gears of War E-Day will also have an announcement, a release date for PlayStation release.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That spiced it up enough?
Yeah, that spices it up a little bit.
Okay. So I'm going to say it launches on Xbox this year. With an not that it's out on PlayStation a year from now, that it's got like an announcement for PlayStation. Okay. Your next one.
I don't think we see gameplay for it, but I do think we get an announcement of the next. Oh man, this one's rough. This one's like, I don't think I'm going to get the points for this one, but I think we get the announcement for the next mainline Zelda game.
Really?
I think this year we get.
God, be still my beating heart.
We won't see anything for it.
So
you might just get like.
So you said mainline Zelda game.
Yeah.
So you're talking like a 3D.
Yeah.
Okay. 3D Zelda announced. Announced.
That's not like a crazy person saying that.
This is the point of the game. We're
yeah.
We're trying to make bold predictions. What we think are bold predictions.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna match your bold prediction.
All right.
Now it's a two-parter. So again, the point of this game is that we can't just say like a great game will come out this year. Like there's got to be a little bit. There's got to be a little bit of juice to it, right?
I got it.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, something's going on. Jackie's not agree at all.
Yeah. Yeah, she does not think Zelda's coming out.
No, she does not think Zelda. I hope that didn't pick up on the mic. It probably didn't. I can't imagine it picked up on the mic.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think one of the cats just did something very bad.
Yeah.
Anyways. I think
I know what my last one's going to be, unless you take it right now.
I think Super Switch will launch with 2 games. Now, one is a layup, in my opinion. I think it's easy.
Okay.
I think they're launching with a 3D Mario game.
Okay.
I think we get a 3D Mario game at launch.
And
the Zelda ports.
Oh, man, you made that prediction back in 2020.
I know, which is why. Here's the thing: because we have to put some spice on it. The 3D Mario is my prediction.
Okay.
Right. But I feel like I got to put some spice on it, so I will say I'm not going to say that it's like the 4 game ports.
Yeah, at least one of those.
It will be at least one of the 4 Zelda games that I love.
Let people know.
Which will be Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. We will get at least one of those games launching on the Super Switch, I think.
In parentheses for that one, I think out of all of those games, I think it will be Twilight Princess. I think we see Twilight Princess.
I think it's Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I think that's the game that has the most to gain from an HD, not an HD, but like a real big up-res.
Yeah.
Or, can I just leave it at a Zelda remake? Because I also think there's a possibility that Nintendo comes out and says Breath of the Wild on a 4K thing, 4K console.
That feels...
is that acceptable? Because again, keep in mind, I gotta get a 3D Mario game and a Zelda remake.
You can add it, but that also Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom feels like a layup as well. They're gonna up-res at least one of those games, probably both.
Okay.
But if you want to add it in parentheses or something like that,
well, I'll just say I'm just gonna Zelda remake. Okay.
You're gonna like email this to yourself like a year from now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it in my email installed. All right, your fifth and final prediction.
This one is another Crazy Man one, but I think maybe we get some new Smash characters. Not a new Smash game.
Again, I'm loving what you're saying. Everything you've said so far, it sounds incredible.
This is a dream list.
This is the field of dreams. So new Smash characters. So
characters and maps for.
Are you gonna give me?
Smash
you gonna give me one? You gonna give me one?
Ooh, I didn't even think that far.
I mean, we're making it a little spicy.
I'll give you 3.
Oh wow!
Because these are 3. Honestly, these are just 3 that I want, but I'm gonna give them anyway.
Okay.
Master Chief.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah.
Crash and Spyro.
Those all make a lot of sense. 2 of those things, or I mean, they're all Xbox, but
yeah.
But I mean, Xbox would probably play ball. That would make a lot of sense. What's up to Ty? So, all right, Ty. So you're coming in a little late. Right now, we are doing a little game where next year, a year from now, if we all make it, we're gonna add up our points. So we're doing game predictions for the year of 2025. Just to recap, Devro's 5 predictions that he has locked in.
And keep in mind, these are both predictions. These aren't sane man predictions. These are...
Right.
I feel like a crazy man saying half of these.
So Devro says, number 1, GTA 6 will be a game of the year, a general consensus game of the year. Number 2, Pokemon Black White remakes will be coming to the Super Switch or just in general?
I think just coming to...
Just in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say Super Switch if you want.
Devro thinks that we will see gameplay. Is that an Illuminati tattoo on Devro? Do you have an Illuminati tattoo?
No.
I was going to say. Devro says that we're going to see gameplay of Elder Scrolls 6 this year. He thinks that the new mainline 3D Zelda game will get announced this year. And he also says we're going to get new Smash fighters, Master Chief, Crash, and Spyro. So
these are things that brought up in the Illuminati meeting that I had earlier.
The head of Nintendo was like, "I'll do what I can," but
yeah.
But we don't usually listen to people. My predictions. Actually,
you still have one more.
I do have one more, but so I'll run through my 4 first. So to counter Devro's prediction, which I think will guarantee us a winner at least, GTA 6 will be delayed into spring 2026. I don't think GTA 6 will come out this year.
That's a good one, though.
Mainline Pokemon games will not be on NSO. Number 3, I think Gears of War E-Day will launch on Xbox this year with an announcement on PlayStation pending. So, they'll make an announcement saying it's coming to PlayStation at a later date. I'm not saying it's going to be a release date announced a year from now, but we'll know that it's going to be on PlayStation. And my 4th prediction is that the Super Switch will launch with a new 3D Mario game and a Zelda remake. A 3D Zelda remake. Okay. So my number 5th. You know, it's going to be really funny. So I need you to shake on it that you won't tell him. Because there's no way Forrest is going to hear this.
Okay.
I predict that Forrest will either not play Pokemon Legends ZA or he will love it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think he's either going to not play it because he hates the first one so much.
Yeah.
Or he's going to be like,
he will play it and love it.
He's like, I can Nuzlocke this one.
All right.
You got to shake it. You won't tell him.
Yeah, I'm not. Of course not.
Okay. All right.
That's a good one.
So, Forrest will either not play because, again, you can't predict that he's going to buy the game, so I think that's a safe fallback for me, but I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Will either not play or love Pokemon. Watch him be here for
He'll see it.
He's been working so much, he's like, I saw what you said.
He'll buy it and hate it just for the sake of seeing it.
He'll buy it, never open it. He'll go to the start screen so he can say he played it.
Yeah.
Be like, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead and save this. 2025 predictions. And I guess a year from now, we'll just see. We'll have to see. All right. Looking forward, let's talk about what's coming up in the world of video games for 2025. So I broke this into categories, obviously, with the big three and then others.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with Xbox. So looking ahead, and we could like have dialogue about these. If you want to stop, and we'll talk about it a little bit. So first up, what we know is we have Avowed coming February 18th of this year. This is a game that I've been really looking forward to. In my opinion, Obsidian hasn't really missed since they, have become, under Xbox's brand.
Mm-hmm.
Bleeding Edge, I think, was their worst game, and like that was like a little side project with like 3 people on the team or whatever. But I just think Avowed is looking really good, so I'm really looking forward to that. Up next is South of Midnight, which I've been looking forward to Compulsion's games' next game since Xbox bought them. Because I really loved We Happy Few. My biggest problem with it was that, like, the first third is all you need to play, and then it kind of gets really repetitive, where, like, I started to not like it. But that first third was so good, I was like, man, if they had more funding and more time, these guys can make a special game. So I'm also really looking forward. Ty says, will the new 3D Mario and Zelda game be cross-gen with the Switch? That's a great question.
Yeah, I wonder what they'll do for cross-gen. I wonder if they'll...
Well, we know that the Switch 1 games will play on it. We know that's backwards compatible.
But I don't think Nintendo really does the...
I think it's going to be a no. Or, like, if it does, it's going to be really under-optimized. Or, they might do, like, the 3DS thing where, like, the cartridges have, like, a little thing on the side where it just won't fit in the Switch.
Yeah,
it's it's a little thing.
Yeah. Because they don't normally do that. The game will come out for the Switch, and then it'll port it to the, whatever's next. But...
Fable. Now, Fable is rumored for a late 2025 release. I would love to see that happen. I hope it does. I don't know.
We got to remember, one of these games on this list got delayed till next year.
Well, so I actually subconsciously didn't put it on the list, but Perfect Dark, I just realized I did not put it on this list. Okay. I think that maybe they push Perfect Dark back.
It's either Perfect Dark or Fable, I think.
But the thing is, I don't think they're pushing it back for the reasons that we think. I think that they're pushing it back because they have such a stacked lineup where they can afford... Very similar to Avowed, where they were like, hey, Avowed, like, we have a lot of games coming out at the end of the year. We have Call of Duty. We have Stalker 2. We have Microsoft Flight Simulator. We have all these games launching. Indiana Jones. Like, we have all these games. We don't need you to come out this year. So I think that maybe that could be kind of the thing. Ty says they should move Avowed up or delay. No idea why the game is dropping beside Assassin's Creed, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Monster Hunter Civilization, and Like a Dragon. But he's sure it'll be good. I agree. I think that's... So Ty says Perfect Dark or State of Decay. I actually think State of Decay is another one that could be pushed back. But in my mind, I always viewed that as a 2026 game regardless.
Okay.
I don't know if maybe that's weird. That's why I didn't put it on the list. I put Gears of War E-Day, though, because I have a feeling in my gut that this game comes out this year. I have nothing to go off of. I think there were some rumors that it was coming out, but, like, me saying it, I just think it's coming out this year.
Okay.
Especially if Fable's the game that gets pushed back, I could totally see them being like, all right, well, we need a big game this holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be Gears. Doom: The Dark Ages. That's another game that just looks incredible. I can't wait to play it. The first Doom just kicked so much ass. That trailer we saw last year was just awesome. So, Outer Worlds 2, which I believe is rumored for this year as well. Again, that's another Obsidian game where it's like Obsidian just...
Is that rumored? Is that for this year?
I thought it was. Hold on. Worlds 2 release date. It's saying 2025, according to Xbox.com.
Okay.
The Outer Worlds 2 will release in 2025 on Xbox Series, the Xbox app on Windows PC, Steam, and PS5.
Okay.
So yes, Xbox themselves are telling us 2025. Which again, like Obsidian just doesn't miss. Like
they don't.
They really don't. Like even before Xbox bought them, because keep in mind, Obsidian was the guys that made Fallout New Vegas. I was talking to a friend who, like, he's never played the Fallout games, but he's watching the show, and he's like, I want to play the games now. And I was, like, telling him about, like, he's like, which ones are the best ones? And I'm like, 3 in New Vegas. And it's like, it's crazy, because Bethesda didn't make New Vegas. Like, it's their baby. And, like, someone else made New Vegas. But then it's like, oh, it's also just, outside of the bugs, like how buggy it is. Like it's just an excellent game.
And we know that season 2 is gonna be. There's something about New Vegas.
Yeah, so. That's the other thing I told him. I was like, hey, like no spoilers, but it kind of teases New Vegas in the end of the season 1, which is like,
I still have to play New Vegas.
So it's on the list. I know we gotta get you back to playing some games. And then lastly for Xbox, obviously kind of a no-brainer, but Call of Duty 2025.
Yeah.
Rumored to be a Black Ops 2 sequel, set in the year 2025. I think they're actually planning for it to be set in that year.
So if you add State of Decay and Perfect Dark to this list, which one of these Xbox games are you most looking forward to?
Gears of War.
Okay.
I'm a Gears guy. Like I've always loved Gears of War. Gears of War is my favorite non-Nintendo franchise. Like, it's just the one that, like, it made me an Xbox fan. It's kept me coming back. A lot of people are, like, obviously Xbox One generation, they didn't have the games, but you know what they did have? They had Gears. Because Gears 4, Gears 5, like, those games were there that generation. And, like, at the end of the day, like, shout out to the Coalition for keeping Gears to be a great franchise. I know some people obviously dipped out on it, but, like, I still fucking love it.
Yeah.
But, like, man, I know I have a bias because it's my platform of choice, but, like, I just look at this lineup and I'm just like,
it's pretty good.
Damn. It's like, even the smaller games, like, just feel like they're going to hit. I mean, obviously the games have to come out, but, like, if in 2025 Xbox launches Gears of War, and it's good, Fable, and it's good.
That's my most...
Doom, and it's good.
Yeah, Fable's my most, like... I want Fable. Like, it looks good. I love Fable. I love the Fable franchise.
Yeah. Fable's my number 2 on the list, followed by probably Doom.
Yeah, Doom is my number 2.
But it's like, man, and then like the Call of Duty sequel, like 2025, apparently it's rumored to have all the Black Ops 2 maps, which those are some really good maps. So the multiplayer will probably be really good, you would assume. But, alright, that's the preview for Xbox. Next up is Nintendo. Now, we don't know a lot about Nintendo. Nintendo's being very quiet. What we do know is Metroid Prime 4, Beyond, Pokemon Legends Z to A, and then we've talked about the rumors here. Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles X is getting a Switch port. I forgot to write that down. Donkey Kong Country HD comes out in like 2 weeks. That's another remake. And then we know we had another rumor about another 3DS game getting a remake this year that we don't know about yet. Other than that, like, it's whatever Nintendo shows off with the Switch. Now, there's a rumor that the Super Switch is going to get revealed on January 8th, which is 2 days from now.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So, we'll see.
We did predict it was going to be shown in January.
We did. We talked about that a few months ago, yeah. So I think the rumor making the rounds right now is January 8th, which is a Wednesday, which Nintendo usually, if they announce stuff, we can get the announcement tomorrow.
That's crazy.
It's like, tune in for a Nintendo Direct tomorrow on Wednesday the 8th.
Yeah.
Showcasing the next Nintendo platform.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
We call it a Super Switch here, but I think it's just going to be Switch 2.
I hope not. I want it to be the Super Switch so bad. It would make sense. The lineage would make sense.
I think they don't want another Wii U situation on their hands.
But it wouldn't be, because it was like the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. People did not get those confused.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the Super Switch is going to be a very applicable name because, again, I think it's going to be a Switch, but more powerful. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be something different. It's going to be a powerful Switch. How powerful? Well, that could disappoint some. Ty's going to be like, that's it?
Yeah.
That's what this Nintendo hardware...
He thinks it's going to flop.
Yeah, Ty's bold prediction, Nintendo Super Switch flops.
Yeah.
That's the boldest prediction of all. If it flops, I'll take 2 months off the podcast. I won't even do a podcast for 2 months.
We'll give Ty the podcast.
Ty can have the podcast.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants with it for 2 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, Nintendo, all we know, like, not even what we know, like, let's speculate a little bit here. Like, what's going to launch on the Super Switch? I mean, obviously, we did the predictions earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's going to be a 3D Mario. I think that they've gotten into the development rhythm where they want a 3D Mario at launch. They had it with Odyssey. It sold systems. It did, well, it wasn't launch, but it was like launch year. You know what I mean? It was like that November. It launched with Zelda in March. And then it had Mario Odyssey, I think it was November of that year. But I just think they're going to launch with a 3D Mario. I mean, you haven't seen anything announced for it.
Man, I just thought of a really good one I could put on the list.
What?
Mario Kart. I think we see a new Mario Kart.
Yeah, we do see a new Mario Kart. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's probably something that we're going to see. I don't know. And then I do wonder what Metroid Prime 4 they're going to do with that. I mean, I wonder if they put that out before the Super Switch comes out. I mean, we know it's going to be backwards compatible. Yeah. Like, but do they say like, hey, we've also optimized it for the Super Switch?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be the same way with like Breath of the Wild did that, right? Breath of the Wild came out on the Wii U,
yeah,
and then it came out for the Switch. So, I think Metroid Prime is that game.
And then next up, PlayStation. So we really don't admittedly know a lot what's going on with PlayStation right now. The only three things that I could really come up with, we know Death Stranding 2 is coming out this year, which it's not an exclusive, but I figured it's worth putting on there. Or it's not a first party, but it's worth putting on there. Mm-hmm. I think Death Stranding 2 looks interesting. I still need to play the first one. Yeah, I've always been hesitant to get into it, but like I'm sure it's good. It's on Xbox now, so it's on my wish list.
I've seen a lot of people like that game, and it's one of those games where I wish.
But my problem with it is, do people like it because Kojima's a genius, or do they like it for its own merits? Like I think that's kind of where I fall on it, where it's like people love Kojima. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like do people love Death Stranding because it's a Kojima like project?
I think it's
or is it like legit a great game? Because like the problem is, just being honest, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's very captivating. I mean, like it looks like.
I think it's one of those games, from what I've seen, from people saying it, like from people playing it, it's a game that you like, or you're just playing it for a while, and then at a certain point, something happens, and it's like, oh, I love this game.
Right.
So I think it's something you have to put hours into before you love it. I think you'll just be liking it or playing it for the first few hours.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think it's coming out this year, but they also. Oh, well, we'll go ahead. Finish what you.
Well, it's planned for 2025.
No, yeah, I was gonna say a different game, but I'll get to that later.
So next up is Ghost of Yotei, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, that game's gonna be good, I think.
So do you think it comes out this year?
Maybe late this year.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a maybe. If it does come out.
Yeah. What about Marvel's Wolverine, the other game that I have listed? A game that I'm very excited for.
I think we see Wolverine this year. Yeah, I think that one's a more sure.
I hope we do. I don't know. Something in my gut's telling me we don't see Wolverine this year.
At least like a.
If we do, I think we see it spring. So here's another thing that we got to keep in mind. A lot of these games don't have release dates because people are waiting for GTA 6 to get its release date out.
Yeah.
So for all we know, like PlayStation could have Marvel's Wolverine ready to go. Like they just hey, we have a showcase planned. We're going to drop it as soon as we know when we're dropping the game.
But we're not going to give you a date.
We're not going to give you a date. I think Xbox is doing something very similar where they're keeping a lot of their cards close to their chest, which makes sense.
At the very least, I think we see the game this year.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think you see it this year for sure. I just don't know if it comes out this year. All right, and then let's run through some other games that I wrote down. Some of these are bigger games, some of these aren't, but they were games that I felt they were noteworthy for us to mention that are coming out this year, or at least say they're coming out this year. Obviously, the big one is Grand Theft Auto 6. I just
there's something about it that makes
something in my gut tells me again a lot of gut feelings here. Ty says, "Ghost of wannabe Assassin's Creed, you mean? Good my ass."
I feel like Assassin's Creed is more.
He's coming at Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah, I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima was a hit, and if they're just building off of that, I almost feel like Assassin's Creed copied. I mean, they're copying each other,
right.
But
yeah.
No, Ghost of Yotei will be fine.
But Grand Theft Auto 6, look, man, I just think. Number one, I think Rockstar always does their own thing. I don't think they feel a need to launch in the holiday season. Like GTA 5 came out in September, which generally you don't get those big releases that big in September. It's usually a semi-big release. I just think that Rockstar's looking at it and they're just hey, we're going to put it out when we're ready. When did Red Dead Redemption 2 come out? Hold on. I want to see real quick.
While you're doing that, I'm going to give a bold prediction that...
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think Ghost of Yotei will sell more than Assassin's Creed, but I do think it'll be graded higher, at least on Metacritic or whatever.
So Red Dead 2 came out in October, so maybe it's not a great example. But I just think if you're Rockstar and you're looking at it you want the game to be perfect. Take-Two is insisting this game's coming out, but guess what? Take-Two aren't the guys making the game.
Yeah.
They're not the guys at Rockstar working on the game. I just think...
But it's been so long.
I know, but the thing is where there's smoke, there's fire, and I just feel we've heard enough rumblings about the game not making release date this year.
Have we?
There's been rumblings.
Okay.
Like,
I believe you.
No, we've talked about them a few times here on the podcast, but I just think, like, with GTA 6, I could see Rockstar being like, hey, why don't we come out in spring of 26 when no one can, like, not that they care what anyone else does, but, like, we'll come out in spring of 2026, we'll capture the zeitgeist of pop culture, because what else is going on in spring of 2026? Probably nothing, except, like, an Avengers movie, maybe, which we don't even have a release date for that, I think, right? I don't know. But, like, regardless, I just see them being like, we need a couple more months. It'll come out and sell billions either way. Let's just take a few extra months to do what we got to do. Something in my gut tells me that.
Okay.
I could 100% be wrong. Ty says, copied. WTF. Ghost is literally PlayStation's take on a Ubisoft game. Ghost is literally PlayStation Assassin's Creed. Deborah, your response.
Okay.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. He says, okay. Ty says he's offended.
All right. I feel like just because you do something first doesn't mean you do something better.
It's fair. He's got you there. You've annoyed me, Dev, says Ty.
Deal with it. We'll take this up at the Illuminati meeting.
It's like cut his shares. So yeah, GTA 6, I think you should be ashamed of such a terrible take. Tut tut.
I think you should add this to the... Did you already save it?
I already sent the email, unfortunately. I mean, I guess I could... What do you want to add to this?
Because I think Ghost of Yotei will score higher than Assassin's Creed. And Ty thinks I should be ashamed of that take.
Why don't you just email it to me?
All right.
And I'll star that as well.
All right.
And a year from now, I'll have 2 emails.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. GTA 6, I think it's going to be an incredible game whenever it launches. I'm very excited for it. I think that if it was coming out this year, you would be 100% correct on your prediction that it's going to launch this year. Or, I mean, it's going to be Game of the Year. I think it'd be a great prediction. I just don't think it's coming out this year. Next up, a game that it better be coming out this year, Assassin's Creed Shadows. A game that I'm really looking forward to. I think that I don't think this was a game that needed necessarily to be delayed, but they delayed it, and so I think the game will be better for it. I'm excited to play it. So, next up, Split Fiction from Hazelight, which is going to be like our big new co-op game. That we're gonna play. We're gonna be playing this year.
Yeah, I love their games. I'm excited for this one.
I know we always make a point to kind of sit down and play it. So
yeah.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, I mean Hazelight very rarely misses. I know I'm alone on this one. I didn't like It Takes Two.
I know.
I was very bored of it. Like, I didn't find it very engaging or interesting. But, I'm excited for Split Fiction. Atom Falls coming out this year. Gives me Bioshock vibes. Looking forward to that as well. It's not my cup of tea, but again, I'm going to mention Elden Ring Night Rain coming out this year as well. I said Bioshock earlier, but Judas is coming out as well. I'm a big Bioshock fan, so I'm really excited for these games coming out. Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be a big hit this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Like, I really want to play the Like a Dragon games. They're on my backlog. And this one also just looks great. So, like, add it to the list of things I'm sure are going to be really good. FBC Firebreak, which is the Control multiplayer game that was announced.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
I'm excited to see what it looks like. We did see what it looked like, right?
We did, yeah.
We saw some gameplay.
It's coming to Game Pass and PS Plus on the same day.
Yeah.
When it launches. Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which is a turn-based game that I'm really looking forward to launching, I believe, on Xbox and PC. I don't know if it's coming to PlayStation right away. Coming to Game Pass. That's like... For me, Claire Obscure is probably like my sleeper most anticipated.
Okay.
Like, if you take all the big names out, like, that's probably like the one that I'm like, man, I just really want to get my hands on that and play that game. Mafia: The Old Country, Civilization 7, and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater are all of the games that I put on this list. I'm not really a Civ guy, but I'm very excited for Metal Gear Solid Delta, and I think Mafia is going to be really good as well.
Okay.
Anything you want to touch on? I mean, I know we just kind of fired through them, but we just don't have a lot of information on those right now. Is there anything you want to touch on before we move on?
No. Yeah, Split Fiction I'm excited for.
Okay.
Atom Fall looks really cool. Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Well, let's get into our final topic of the show, which is our 2024 wrap-ups. So we're going to kind of go through Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation. I didn't do as... So, like, last year, I did, like, a really long, like, every headline that each one had. I didn't do that this year. Instead, I kind of just put down the games that they had, and then we'll kind of touch on, like, where they're at right now, and we're going to give grades at the end of it. I know you don't like giving grades, but humor me. All right, so first up, Xbox. So this is Xbox's release year. In May, they had Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. September, Age of Mythology Retold, and Ara History Untold. Retold and then Untold. To this day, I don't understand why those games came out in the same month. They're the same genre with a similar name. I have no idea why Xbox was like, hey, these two games September. Which, no, it's weird because I think they've gotten better at avoiding that. I put Age of Empires Mobile on here because I know that was a big deal for them. That came out in October. They've had other mobile games, but that was, I think, that felt like the big one for them. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 came out in October. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 came out in November. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl came out in November. Now, that's not a first party, but I included Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the PlayStation 1. And it's a high-profile launch, so I was like, okay, I'll throw it on there. And then they closed out the year, obviously, with Indiana Jones and The Great Circle in December. Xbox had a really interesting year of ups and downs in the sense that, if you remember, January is when we first had our Xbox multi-platform stories break, when we were talking. I remember I was on the podcast with Ty and Kenwall, and we were talking, and, like, I was the one that broke the news to them on the podcast. I was like, apparently Starfield and Indiana Jones are coming to PlayStation, and, like, it was just kind of a crazy roller coaster ride with Xbox where a lot of confusing messaging, understandably so in my opinion. I mean, how do you tell your console base that you're expanding to everywhere, right? And it's just like, it was a rough year where I wrestled with it a lot, and obviously we talked about it a whole lot on the podcast. And I think I ended up with, as long as the ecosystem survives and I can play the games there, my games there, then I don't really care what happens. I think that's just kind of where I fall on it. Mm-hmm. I know some people don't. Like, for me, it's not about the tribalism. It's not about console wars. I just want my console of preference, my ecosystem of preference, to remain strong. And if that means that, like, you know, other people are going to get Gears of War, so be it. Like, I love Gears of War. And if more people can tell me, hey, I played Gears of War and I love it, that makes me happy personally. So that's kind of where I look at it. But I think Xbox, they had a really strong year of showcases. The Developer Direct in January was great. The Xbox June showcase was phenomenal, in my opinion. I think that's probably one of the best showcases. I said it back then. I think it's one of the best showcases we ever had. Yes, Deborah, I'm doing all of this recap off the top of my head. I see you looking at the notes. I just think, like, and they had, like, little announcements at Gamescom that was good. They had a good showing at Gamescom. The Game Awards, they were kind of not there, but, like, also because they're planning their January Developer Direct. So I kind of get it. All in all, like, I think at the end of the day, like, I spent a lot of time on my Xbox this year playing great games on Game Pass. I loved Black Ops 6. I love Indiana Jones. I really liked Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. And there's a lot of other stuff. They've got good variety. They had the big hits. Outside of their bad messaging, I mean, I think they had a really stellar year. It's a real shame that this year was marred by that, because they had a really good year, and next year is looking even better. Or this year, because we're in this year.
Do you want to grade it at the end, or you want to grade it now? I guess grade it now.
Yeah, I'll grade it now, then you can kind of give me your thoughts. Yeah. For me, it's getting a solid A.
Okay.
It would be an A+ for me if they didn't have the whole kerfuffle with the messaging. Like, the drama alone, for me, knocked it down, but not enough, right? Because it's like, it's just bullshit internet drama. Yeah. At the end of the day, guess what? All the games still came out. All the games are still coming out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, when I was trying to think of my grade, like, I was like, how much should I let that affect it? But it's like, at the end of the day, they had great showcases. They had great games launch. And there's a good variety here. Like, they have, like whether you like it or not, they have the narrative-driven game with Hellblade. They have the mobile game with Age of Empires. They have the strategy games, which, again, 2 of them in the same month. That's really weird, too. Maybe that knocks it to an A- for me, but, like, eh. At the end of the day, they had Black Ops 6 come out, which was excellent. Stalker 2. For me, what does it is the 1-2-3 punch of Black Ops 6, Stalker 2, Indiana Jones, and the holiday season. I just think that's 3 excellent games. I've played 2 of them. I believe that Stalker 2 is great based off what I've seen. You're showing gameplay of it right now, and it looks great. So yeah, I'm giving it an A. Okay. What are you giving Xbox?
For me, all that other stuff doesn't really matter.
Right, like, the drama, yeah.
I'm not going to take off points for all that drama that happened early on, okay. But I'm also not going to give them points, even though I agree with you that they had the best showcases. To me, like, it's just the game.
Yeah, I take that into account personally.
Yeah, no,
that's just this is presence over the course of a year. Like, it's their job to sell games, but it's also their job to keep me excited about games.
I agree with that.
And Xbox did that. Like, every time I sat down for an Xbox showcase, I was like, wow, I'm so excited to have Game Pass, to play on my Xbox.
Yeah, watching those showcases were the best.
You're grading on a different curve. That's fine.
Yeah, for me, it's just the software that came out for that year.
Sure.
I agree with you that 1-2-3 punch of Call of Duty, Stalker 2, and Indiana Jones was great, but those games came out in November and December. That's the end of the year, and like I get it, that's the holiday season, but not a lot happened game release wise for them. So that
I think it's because they were planning on Senua being a bigger hit for them than it was, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which I think if you look at it, because again, I mean, like, you're correct. The first half of the year, if you take out Hellblade, there's literally nothing.
Yeah.
We literally don't have anything listed.
Yeah.
They relied on a lot of smaller Game Pass deals, like Dungeons of Hinterberg, which, to be fair, is an Xbox exclusive. Still Wakes the Deep came out early in the year, which is also great. I played it. That's an exclusive as well. But I tried to keep it as first party as possible, outside of Stalker, for fairness' sake.
So because of that, if I'm just going on game releases, because that's... honestly, software and games are what I care about the most. Like when it comes to any console, anything.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that. Yeah. I mean, they also push the big mobile and the cloud gaming. Like for me, like they're just like, hey, we just want to play games everywhere. And like, I don't believe in the tech yet, but like, you know, maybe someday. You know?
What we see like earlier, like we talked about earlier about the lineup for 2025. Like, let's just pretend all those games come out. That's an A. That's an S tier. That's an S tier year.
Yeah, it's an S tier. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I have to give them for this year. I have to give them like a C plus if I'm going to be honest.
C plus.
Just on game, like if I'm looking at these game releases plus the ones you told me, like Call of Duty, Stalker 2, and Indiana Jones aren't enough for me to go like.
To me that's crazy. I think those 3 games, like, yes, they all came out in like October, November, December, but like, oh man, like that's crazy to me, like especially if you don't take the drama into account. But I get it, like it's just, it is what it is. But
it's just games throughout the year. Like I can't, like, you know what I mean. I can't really, looking at this list, I can't really give it more. If I liked Hellblade more, I can probably bump it up to a B. I didn't like it as much as I'd like the first game. I have to give it a C plus.
Ty says Xbox 8 out of 10. I don't know. For me, I just look at it in a sense that I'm okay if they all launch it in the October season. I mean, that's right or wrong, that's when I'm conditioned to expect big games. So, I get it. Microsoft Flight Simulator came out at that point too, which I know some people liked it, but I didn't play that. Dropping 4 games in like 3 months is kind of crazy. So I get it. All right, next up is Nintendo. So Nintendo really relied on remakes and ports for a good chunk of this year.
Yeah.
In May, they had Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which I love Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, but it is just a remaster of the GameCube game. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, a remaster of the 3DS game, came out in June. In August, this kind of flew under the radar because it's just not a very big name, but they had Emio the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club game come out in August. September, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom came out. October saw Super Mario Party Jamboree and Pokemon TCG Pocket. And then November saw Mario and Luigi Brothership. So for Nintendo, obviously, it was to be expected, and maybe it's unfair to do this, but they had a really quiet year.
Yeah.
Apart from like showing Metroid Prime 4 at that one direct, they're like right now there's just not a lot going on with Nintendo, and it's understandable why. I understand why. However, I think that at that point, like I just didn't see enough from them this year in terms of hype and news. So they're already going to lose some points for me with that right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Remasters are tricky for me. I mean, because you'll see it when we talk about PlayStation 2. Like, they also kind of padded out their year a little bit with some remasters, but like, I obviously I want remasters, but I also want new games.
Yeah,
and so kind of similar to what you're saying. I mean, if you take out Paper Mario and Luigi's Mansion, the first original Nintendo game came out in August this year, or last year, however you want to look at it. And that one was the Famicom Detective Club game, which is a narrative visual novel. So if you take that one out, the next like legitimate first-party Nintendo quality game is Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, a game for me that falls really flat. I did not like The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I just thought that the gameplay hook didn't really work. It's a beautiful world. It has a lot of Zelda-isms that I obviously appreciate, but it just really did not grab me on almost any level at all. Super Mario Party Jamboree is great. Came out in October. And Pokemon TCG Pocket is a game that I'm obsessed with to this day. So that's like, it's a mobile game, but it's, that's great. And then admittedly, I have Mario and Luigi Brothership, but I haven't played it. So I kind of leave Nintendo's 2024 like, man, I really loved playing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but it's a remaster. And then like outside of that and Pokemon TCG, like I didn't really get a lot of enjoyment out of new Switch games this year or new Nintendo games. So I mean, I'm gonna end up giving it a C+.
Okay.
Again, like there's some great stuff here. Thousand Year Door, it's a remaster. Like for me, like I'm not trying to be caught up on that because I still love it.
I'm actually surprised by this because me and you go back and forth all the time. You replaying games.
Yeah, I love the remasters, but like I'm just trying to look at it like I'm okay. Like that was a huge announcement for me.
Yeah, that was like your biggest announcement. Yeah,
enjoy. But the problem is that okay, like I played that and I loved it. I didn't enjoy another Nintendo game outside of like TCG Pocket. Really, Jamboree I haven't played enough of. Like I'm gonna surprise people later when I talk about games I love this year and I talk about fucking Paper Mario because I love it and I know it sounds kind of like wishy washy, but like when I look at Nintendo as a whole, it's like yes, give me those remasters, but like what are you doing alongside those remasters?
No, I understand completely.
And so like that's where I'm with the C+. That C+, 100% of that C+ is the fact that I loved Paper Mario and I loved Pokemon TCG. If those two games don't come out, this is an F of a D- year for me. Like, so.
Yeah.
I mean, other Nintendo again wasn't really even in the headlines. Not a lot to talk about. So yeah.
No, I get it. You said a C+, right?
Yeah, C+ for me.
Before I saw Pokemon TCG, I was going the same way. Pokemon TCG bumps it up a little bit for me.
Okay.
I'm okay with like I'm on the same page with you, but I think I like remakes, especially from Nintendo. I do too. I wish they did more, and
I do too.
If they had a whole year full of remakes, I can see myself giving them an A for certain games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
So because of that, like I know that like Thousand Year Door is big for you. I love Luigi.
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, I haven't bought it yet, but I plan on getting Luigi Mansion 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mario Luigi Brothership fell flat a little bit for people.
Yeah, it seems like it did.
Same thing with Echoes of Wisdom. I think I also have to give them a C+. Like I want to give them higher because of Pokemon TCG. Like I'm still playing that. I'm going to be playing that probably all this year.
Yeah,
we're getting trading this month. Yeah. So it's like it's. I want to give them a B- because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm going to stick with C+.
Yeah, and again, like I feel bad myself putting the grade on it because it's like how much I love Thousand Year Door, but it's like if I'm trying to look at Nintendo as a whole, and then like on the flip side, like I am underwhelmed with the NSO offering. I think that like to me it's fucking absurd that they haven't put Pokemon on the NSO. I think that the NSO music app is a cool idea, but they're drip feeding games soundtracks. Like I got to take a step back because 2024 was a year where I got really mad at Nintendo. Yeah, and until the Super Switch comes out, I don't know how I can bounce back from it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna
gotcha,
separate myself. But I loved it. I did love it all the same.
Ty, tell us what you give Nintendo this year.
He's 1 out of 10. -5. Oh, he gave it a C-. There you go. Nintendo at best a C-. Ain't no way they're getting bumped up due to a remaster and a mobile game. Imagine Xbox getting a point because of Fallout Shelter. You boys are on some comedy shit.
I think I. All right. Hey,
look, he's got a fair point, which is why I'm making the argument with a C+. It's like,
but it's like if a studio puts out a game, again, I care about the games. I would give. I don't know what we did for that year, but I would give them points for Fallout Shelter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, like an in-depth mobile game. I don't know. We disagree on it, but
yeah.
You also hate card games. You made that point clear too.
Yeah. And then lastly, for our grading, PlayStation. So PlayStation opened up January with The Last of Us 2 Remaster. In February, they got Helldivers 2 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Which, again, kind of similar. Like, they're different games. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of weird that PlayStation didn't plan that out a little bit better, where they spread it out. I think because they were expecting...
I think one's multiplayer, one is...
Yeah, but first. I guess. But, I guess they were the problem is that they were expecting their March and August games, Rise of Ronin and Concord, to be hits, and they were not. So, Rise of Ronin was largely kind of forgotten about. I think it was just more mediocre than anything. And then, Concord died. So, I think when you look at it, and then in October, they put out the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. So when I look at it, right, I think that a few thoughts here. Number one, outside of February, PlayStation came out with nothing. Outside of February. For me, The Last of Us 2 and Horizon remasters are worse than, say, a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2, because those games were already playable on a PS5. You could already put Last of Us 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn. You could download them or put the discs in your PS5 and you could play them. So for me, a remaster release of those just doesn't hold a lot of weight. Whereas Thousand Year Door, it's hey, here's a GameCube game from 20 years ago that we're putting on our current console. Hey, Luigi's Mansion 2, here's a 3DS game from 10 years ago that, we're putting on our modern console. They just don't hold the same weight for me. Yeah. We're not even they're not even remasters. They're just updates. They're just updates that you're paying full price for. So I kind of disqualify those personally. I put them on there in case you don't.
Yeah.
But for me, I I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I love it. But I could literally play that game on I played it on my PS5. When you came over, I was playing it on my PS5. So I just can't count that as a release personally. Rise of Ronin falls short. Concord died. I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I haven't played Helldivers 2, but I believe that it's a phenomenal game. As I said last month when I said it got snubbed at the Game Awards. And then I think PlayStation had outside of the Game Awards, they had a really rough. They didn't have a good showing that year. I don't ever remember leaving a PlayStation showcase being very happy with it. I think there was that one later in the year that was oh, that was pretty good actually. But I don't remember coming away from any of the showcases really amazed. I think that they really showed up at the Game Awards, and I'm very excited for their new game, for Naughty Dog's new game. So I definitely give it some bonus points for that. But at the end of the day, and again, of course, it's oh, the Xbox guys giving PlayStation a bad grade, but I gotta give them a C- overall. I mean, maybe even a D+. I just think that I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but again, to give it the same asterisk that Stalker 2 had, it's not a first party game. I included on there I gave both Xbox and PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't even know if I should count them, but if I'm gonna count Stalker, I'm gonna count Final Fantasy in the same way because that's fair. So Ty thinks it's a B. Oh, Stellar Blade did come out. Oh wait, Astrobot. What the fuck? Why did that not come up? Hold on. Why did that not come up when I Googled it? Great, now I'm gonna look like a fucking...
Yeah, you hate Sony. Look at you.
No, I'm so fucking mad. How did that not... Bro, I literally went to GameSpot and typed in 2024 releases and scrolled down the list. What? Never mind. I am upping this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Wukong, Astrobot, Stellar Blade.
I didn't count Wukong. That one was on there. I didn't count that one.
Why don't you count Wukong?
Because according to them, it's only a technical reason why it's not on Xbox right now.
We did see something. I don't know if you saw the news story, but
hold on, Ty. Don't laugh at it because I'm rescinding that. No. No. I'm gonna give them a B-. I'm gonna give them a B.
We did see something.
I take it back. Yeah, because I forgot about Astro. I don't know what GameSpot was fucking doing, or maybe I was just so tired I missed it. Great, wonderful. It's so stupid because I obviously I wouldn't try to get away with this. This is legitimately me making a mistake. I would have nothing to fucking it's stupid.
So you upped it to a B.
I'm upping it to a B, yeah, because I forgot Astrobot came out, and that was September, I believe, and then all the other ones I wouldn't include because again, like I gave Xbox One, I gave PlayStation 1. I'm looking at first party, especially in this future where, hey, guess what? Like Doom, like next year when we talk about it, like does Xbox get points for Doom if they put it on PlayStation? I think they do because they made the game.
Is it day and date?
I think so, yeah. And so is Outer Worlds 2. Do we not count those next year? Next year I'm planning on counting those because they were made by Xbox. Okay. So that's why when I look at it, I'm looking at first-party releases. I'm not looking at exclusives. I'm looking at first-party releases. That's how I did it this year. But yes, I am going to give PlayStation a B because you are correct. Astrobot came out and was really good.
So I agree with you on the remake of Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn, where for me they still count, but they do hold less weight because of the same thing you said. Like those games are playable on the PS5 already, but I do still count them. I also do count exclusives. Right. So because of that, PlayStation, I have to give it like at least a B+.
Okay. I know we grade on different curves.
Yeah, we grade on different curves. I have to give it a B+. For Astrobot, I know you don't count Silent Hill. I count Silent Hill. I also still count Wukong. That's a great game. I might actually, B+, A-.
I think it's great. I'm not saying it's not a great game. I'm just saying that like.
I know you're saying it doesn't count because of the technical issue.
According to them, they were planning on releasing on Xbox.
Yeah.
So like,
but there's also
is the Xbox version's delayed? Like, do you give PlayStation the points for that? Like,
yeah,
it just seems weird to me. I
think so. Because last week we saw. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw a news story that people are blaming the Wukong developers are blaming the Series S again. I didn't read it, but I saw the headline, so it's like
I don't know, but the people are still saying like the people that have reported the original story, like Paul Tassi was like, hey, look, they told me what they told me. I'm sticking with it. I trust my source.
Yeah, but again, the developers came out and said this, so it's like
yeah, but of course the developers have been saying this stuff. I don't know. I think it's
I count all that stuff, and I think it's.
So Ty asked, why isn't Silent Hill 2 being counted? I already explained it because it's not a first party game.
It's exclusive, but it's not first party.
It's not first party.
I count exclusives.
In the past, I have, but I'm not when I sat down to write my grades, I
can't. If I want to play that game, I can't play it anywhere else.
Again, I sat down and I gave Xbox and PlayStation. If we want to do exclusives, I'll go back and redo the Xbox list and all the exclusive Game Pass games they had come to Xbox this year. But I'm not going to do that. That's just I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to look at them and their first party output as a whole, and I gave both of them one, which was Stalker 2 for Xbox and Final Fantasy for PlayStation, and that's why Silent Hill 2 I don't count it.
Okay, I do count it because if I want to play that game, I have to get it on the PlayStation.
That's fine.
I think PlayStation did the best, which is kind of weird. Not weird, but like it's a little surprising compared to last year when we did this show last year. This time, it was supposed to be a light year for Sony. 2024 was supposed to be a light year for Sony because they didn't show anything.
It's because they didn't have any first party games ready to go. And they still, outside of Astrobot and Helldivers and Concord, they still didn't.
But then I think in terms of
a lot of the games you guys are listing are not first party. Yes, go back, remake your list correct. No, I'm not doing that.
They're not first party, but they're exclusives. That's important. It was important to you last year, but now it's not.
Yeah, because it's not the same anymore. Like we're not like it's a different class, different situation. Xbox doesn't give a fuck about exclusives. So if one of the three don't give a fuck about exclusives, and PlayStation is over the next couple of years,
but that doesn't change where you can play the game. Whether or not they cared about it or not doesn't change that you can only play Silent Hill on PlayStation.
Okay, so then next year when we're talking Xbox, I can't say well Xbox made Doom. Xbox made.
It's your grading system. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's you counted it before and for different reasons.
Because times change. The situations change. It's just not the same situation. If Xbox was still doing exclusives, yes, I would have put together more exclusives.
Okay. They did exclusives in 2024. I
want to make sure I'm not crazy. Sorry, dead air. Terrible for a podcast, but
in Baldur's Gate 3, if it didn't come to Xbox, I would count it as a PlayStation exclusive. It eventually came to Xbox. They had to remove multiplayer, but
I don't know. Again, yes, when retroactively adding those things in, yes, I give PlayStation a much better grade. You are correct. And I'll own that. Yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up this list. That was really bad on my part. So that's what happens when you're doing it while you're driving home from work. Okay. So yeah. So you said you gave PlayStation A-. That's good. That's really good.
Okay. I'll change it to a B+.
No, you could. No, bro.
No,
grade it your way you want to grade it.
Yeah, I am. I think.
I mean, again, that's the way. When I compiled this list, again, I fucked up on the PlayStation one completely. But when I compiled this list, I skipped over like some exclusives on Xbox and PlayStation intentionally because I'm like, well, I want to grade them off of their first party output and like what they're doing as a first party. Mm-hmm. But if you want to make the argument, it's like, well, they spent money for these exclusives, and yeah, then you do that. Like you could, if you stick with your A-.
I still count them. That's
I think Silent Hill 2 is incredible. I think I think a lot of the games that like that's fine. That's just not how I did this year.
Yeah.
But if there's pushback to it, then I'll go back to doing it the old way next year. But I just don't see a point to it because that's just not where the industry's heading. What?
No, it's. I get it. I get why you're degrading it the way you're grading it. We just disagree. That's all.
No, it's fine. I mean, I think next year. If you want like next year, like to have more uniform, like I'll do it that way. Then it's not a big deal. But, all right. So then, lastly, to close the show, I like to do this, and I did this last year and the year before. I'm gonna run through my game log this year, kind of like what I did month to month, and all that. So in January, so when I do my logs, I do completions, finishes, and I played it. Obviously, completion is I 100% of the game. I did everything the game had to offer. Finishes, I hit credits. Play is kind of cheating, but for me, play is like I played it for more than 5 minutes, but I didn't finish it. In January is always kind of like a mop-up month for me, so I completed Assassin's Creed Mirage and finished Super Mario RPG. And then I also kind of dipped into Game Pass and completed Frog Detective, the entire mystery. Really enjoyed Super Mario RPG that month. That was really good. In February, literally, all I played really was Final Fantasy 16, which I did not like. I finished it. I was not a fan of the direction the series went in. And then to finish off the month, I completed Ravenlock and Planet of Lana on Game Pass. March, I played Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, getting ready for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Again, didn't really enjoy that one. Finished it. Played a Zelda game, Minish Cap, on the NSO. Finished that. I didn't give it a completion because there was like two little things that like I couldn't, like I just didn't want to do. So I was like, Minish Cap's not an enjoyable Zelda game to complete because they have like these kinstones and they're like really random. It's really annoying. In April, so April was a weird month because I started Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and did not beat it in that month, but I beat another game, which was the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Because it was kind of broken, but I was on vacation for that first week of April, and I was like, I'm really enjoying Final Fantasy, but like I love Battlefront 2, so I kind of was like, I can't wait to play these games. And I started them, and it was like, oh, they're actually kind of buggy, and they don't play. It's not a good port.
Did you end up going back and playing it, or you just?
Well, I completed it that week, but the last achievement was bugged. But then they updated it, so I just had to turn the game on.
Oh, okay.
Which I did later in April.
I would say you completed it.
No, it is a completion. It's a completion. Yeah, I count it as a completion. And then in May, like beginning of May, I completed or finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I loved. This year was kind of rough for me because you'll see my count of games that I get through this year. It's like 20 lower than usual. Because this year was...
play a lot of RPGs.
It was a lot of big games that took up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And for me, this was like one of the first ones where it was like... I guess Final Fantasy 16 kind of took up a good chunk of February. But like, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I love it. But it has a major flaw for me personally. Which we'll get into later. But, like, this game took me forever. Like, a really long time. I hit a point where I was like, I don't want to complete this. So, I did a lot of stuff, and I was like, I feel good, and I finished it, and I loved it. So something about me that you'll realize is like after I do like a very long game, I try to like balance it out. Like I need a quick one. I need something to like get in, get out.
Mm-hmm.
Right after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I completed Dordogne on Game Pass, which was a nice little easy one. And then I went on the NSO and played Contra Hardcore, which was a Sega Genesis game. I played it for like 10 minutes. I was like, this game sucks. But again, kind of a stat patter. Like I cheat. Like whatever. It's my fucking list. May, I actually had a really productive month though, because then after that I completed Botany Manor on Game Pass. Loved Botany Manor. I know you've played it. Did you finish it?
Almost. No, I didn't finish it.
Okay. I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's a really good
game. Really good game. Really enjoyed it. And then I also completed that month Age of Empires Definitive Edition on PC Game Pass, which was really good. I got all the achievements for it. I kind of cheated a few of them with some custom maps and stuff, but about like 85% of it I did legit, and I had a great time with it. And then the last game I played in May was a completion for Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga, a game that I really enjoyed. June was another month where I just didn't get a lot of game time in, but also Paper Mario Thousand Year Door was a game that came out at the end of May, so I pretty much just like all of June, that's all I really played. July...
Is it that long of a game?
It's not, but for some reason, like, I don't know, like, work was a lot, and then, like, the podcasting was a lot, and I just didn't have a lot of time to play games. So, like, it just ended up being, like, okay. Played it when I could. I mean, keep in mind, we had just, like, gotten Ash at that point. So, like, I just wasn't playing a lot of games either. Oh, God. Plus, that was the month that our AC broke, and I was just, like...
Oh, yeah, in the
miserable.
Middle of
June was a rough fucking month. July, I completed Open Roads from Game Pass and played Turok Dinosaur Hunter on the NSO. Never played Turok 1. Hated it just because of the controls.
Yeah, the controls are rough.
Like I remember you came in, I was like, you need to try this.
I tried to get I got okay with it, but no, the controls are rough.
Yeah, so that's a play. I actually played that for an hour. I was proud of myself for playing for an hour. August, I went on vacation again, and I was actually out of town for a week. So I didn't get a whole lot done, but what I did do was play a shit ton of NSO games, because I brought my Switch with me. I played Donkey Kong Jr. Math, which was an NES game. Pokemon TCG, the Game Boy Color game, which was a Game Boy Color game. Golf, and Mario Tennis. Golf was an NES game. Mario Tennis was an N64 game. While I was on vacation, I also started Super Mario Wonder, which took up a lot of time for me. Oh, you know what also happened? In June, I started Octopath Traveler.
Okay.
That also, I forgot about that. So, I started Octopath Traveler in June. I played the Xbox version. I wanted to complete it because I played it on Switch, and I loved it. Started it in June. June passes. July passes. August passes. Yeah. I'm still fucking playing Octopath Traveler 1. Yeah. And then in September, I hit a brick wall that utterly devastates me. I can't beat the last. That actually might have happened in October, now that I'm looking at it. So actually, no. September, I still play it. In the meantime, I take little breaks here and there. I get a quick completion on a game called Aim Labs. This is just me padding completely. And then I also finished Super Mario Wonder, which is a game I started in August while on vacation. I put it down because I got home and went back to Octopath. But in September, I sat down and finished it.
Did you like that game?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's definitely the best 2D Mario game in my opinion.
That's what everyone was saying. It's really great.
I didn't complete it because there were a few challenges I just didn't feel like doing. But like I finished it and like got like 95% of the game done. In October, I hit my brick wall with Octopath.
That was a month?
October is where I hit the brick wall. Mm-hmm. And then I just start trying to beat the end boss. And I fail. And fail. And fail. And fail. And fail. I get to a point where I'm like, I just need to take a fucking break. And then, so, I play The Walking Dead Season 1 on PC Game Pass.
PC Game Pass, yeah, I saw you playing it.
I get the achievements. And then I play, because I needed a break, I played Little Kitty Big City on Game Pass. Very charming little game, funny writing, completed that as well. November rolls around, and I'm like, okay, it's November. I really got to settle in. I got to get shit done. I play Still Wakes the Deep. Mind you, I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at this point, too, so that's taking up a lot of my time. But I complete Still Wakes the Deep, which was great. And then something magical happens. I go back to Octopath Traveler. And on a random attempt...
You do it.
I fucking did it. A game that, like, this was the most daunting game I've probably ever played in terms of completion, playing. I don't know if I've ever played a game for more than 2 months. And again, June, July, August, September, October, all spent playing Octopath Traveler 1. Damn. In November, the game's completed. And then after that, I do a quick one. Case of the Golden Idol on Game Pass. Very fun puzzle game. You would like it.
What's it called? Case
of the Golden Idol.
And it's on Game Pass?
It's on Game Pass. Okay. It's very good. Or it's free. It's either Game Pass or it's free. Because the next one just came out. And then in December, I finished The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Again, a game that really falls flat for me. Big disappointment this year for me. And that kind of ends the year. So at the end, I do put the 2 games that I'm actively still playing.
Yeah.
Which is Pokemon TCG Pocket, which I've played consistently through October and on. And then also I'm noting Black Ops 6 as a play, because while I 100%ed the campaign, there's still more multiplayer and zombie stuff for me to do. I'm still actively playing it, and I really enjoy it. Now, I didn't list number 33, which would be Indiana Jones, that I've started. Still working on, currently playing. Octopath Traveler 1 is insane. You showing this last boss fight, like, you can keep doing it.
Is it triggering you?
I'm a little triggered. Actually, the problem is, it's not even this guy. This guy is not the problem. Oh, this is actually 2. This is Octopath Traveler 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because...
Yeah, you'll be doing this year.
My boy Hikari. I love Hikari. But yeah, no, it was something else. And, like, I'm really proud of myself, though, because, like, it was a real difficult completion. That last boss is no joke. It is, without a doubt, the hardest boss fight I've ever had in a video game ever. Like, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. Like, I went on the Reddit. A lot of people think it's bullshit. It is bullshit. The last boss has an RNG thing that can fucking wipe you right when you're at the end. It's very luck-based. It's funny because it's the same boss. I didn't even realize. I'm so, like, that boss, it's the same fucking boss.
Oh, you gotta go back. You gotta go back this year.
Yeah, I gotta go fight him. But in 2, I've beaten him already. It's not as bad. Okay. They really toned it down in 2.
All right.
That's why I'm not, like, scarred by 2. Where it's like I'm looking at the B-roll and it's like, oh my god, it's the same boss. I didn't even put it to... For some reason, I didn't even, like... Oh, because it's Caldera. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Duh. But yeah, that was my year. So I am now... So I finished the year, not counting Indiana Jones, which I'm not going to count.
Okay.
I finished the year at 32 games, which, for me, that's a down year. I usually do like 40 to 50. But between Final Fantasy and Octopath, it just wasn't meant to be.
The thing is, those are 2 games you loved.
I did.
So like, it's worth it, I think.
You mean that boss that has an orangey thing? That was a piece of cake, bruv. You need to get... No, you did not. Shut the fuck up. You didn't beat Caldera on Octopath 1. There's no way. I need the proof.
Yeah, you gotta prove
Where's
it.
The trophies?
If you're talking shit,
show me your save file. Yeah, if you're doing this, you need to go into the Discord. What did you play it on? Xbox? I gotta see the achievement. Show me the achievement. Show me the true achievements. I'm going true achievements right now, actually. What's your gamer score, Ty? We're gonna figure this out right now. I'm not playing around. I spent 4 fucking months. This guy's like, oh, I did it, bruv. He's just mad because Elon's going to take over Ireland. Elon said that. He's like, we're going to take over Britain. We're just going to do it. Anyways, I need the proof, Ty. I don't believe you. Pixar didn't happen. So, to finish off the year, my top 5 games of the year. So, again, I was really limited this year. There was just a lot of things I just didn't get to. So, I already know... For me, like, my 5 and 4, Ty's going to hate my number 5 pick. He's going to be like, that's the best game you played this year. But honestly, it is what it is. So my number 5, top 5 game of the year 2024 is Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. Look, I went into it expecting what I expected, and I got what I expected. Love the narrative, love the art design. I think Melina Juergens really killed it in her performance. It's just really enjoyed it. It's a solid like high 8 for me out of 10. Number 4, and again I gave Nintendo a lot of hard time about this, but number 4 is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door Remaster. I try usually not to include remasters in my Game of the Year picks, but like I enjoyed it a lot more than any other game I played this year, and like I don't know, maybe I'm just coping because Echoes of Wisdom disappointed me so hard, and I just wanted a Nintendo game to be there. But no, I love Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door, and the Switch version was excellent. Number 3 for me is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is the point where we get to where like these are all my 3, 2, and 1. I all feel very strongly about. I think they're all excellent games, and it's really close. Like on a different day, I might rank these 3 games differently. But 3 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I loved Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I spent a lot of time with it. Really enjoyed it. Love the story. Love the characters of the Final Fantasy VII universe. I will be playing these games again when they come to Xbox this year. Ty says, the thick chick, hell yeah. Hellblade 2 is a 10 out of 10. Oh my god. We got him, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at this simp.
You're next, Death.
Look at this simp. Crazy.
At least I liked it because it's just a great
you
game.
had good reason to like it.
He's just like
simp boy over here.
I mean, she looked great.
No, she does look great. I agree. Great.
No, she definitely I definitely agree with him. But like,
I agree with him too. She
no,
does look
let
great.
the man simp. Let my people simp. I got you, Ty. I got you. But no. So for me, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, where it really comes down to with like number 3, that game just has too much bullshit in it. Like, it's a game that I like, and again, like I took a step back from it and did not complete it because I probably would end up hating it. It would have been similar to Valhalla, probably.
Oh, when you complete this game, you're probably gonna hate it because it's.
Well, the problem is next time around, like I'm gonna do it with like guides and like I'm not gonna go in blind. Like,
yeah,
whereas like this, it's like, hey, I'm playing blind. I don't want to spoil things. Like.
Yeah, I get it.
And I'm gonna play it by ear. Like, who knows? When it comes to Xbox, maybe I don't complete it. Maybe I just play it and have it on my Xbox. Like, I don't care. I would definitely play it again regardless. But I just hit a point with it where I was like, there's too much extra bullshit in this game. And I understand it's because a lot of it's trying to be like fan servicey and like they take like little mini games that are in Final Fantasy VII and they expand it to these giant things, which like again, for some people that's a positive. But like I just felt like there was so much padding in Rebirth where it was like I just want to get to the parts of the game that I enjoy. And like there were moments where I just felt like I was doing busy work and staying away from the parts I wanted to do. And I don't think it's good when a game feels that way. So, like, again, this is a nitpick.
Yeah.
This is a complete nitpick explaining why.
Because me personally, I love that kind of stuff. So I get, like...
Again, no, I like
difference.
checklist, like, busy keeping, like, completion stuff. Like, I'm a completionist. It's what I do. But I just felt like there was a little too much, and it just... I hit a point where I was just done with it, for whatever reason.
I think the Yakuza games are a lot like that, where it's just... There's a lot of, like, mini-game stuff that they turn into big deal.
Yeah, Yakuza 0, which is the only one I've played so far, like, it's very much like that.
Yeah.
Again, this is a 9.5 out of 10 game. This is like a high 9. This is a nitpick. But that's why it's number 3 for me. Number 2 is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And I know it's like a lot of people hate it. It's like, oh, Call of Duty. Like, look, man, campaign's phenomenal. It does a great job bringing in other parts of the franchise. I don't want to spoil anything because I do want you to play it. But like, it brings in other things that, like, other parts of the Call of Duty franchise into its campaign. And I'm very impressed with how it does those things. A lot of mission variety, like it's just very good. The zombies, it returns to form with the round-based zombies. Played it with my friends. It's really good. It already has like a new map that came out. Like it's really good. The multiplayer is also phenomenal. Okay. I generally don't have a lot of issues with it. There are some issues coming up in the Call of Duty community that I also am starting to see, where like people think that they're doing bullet damage based off skill-based matchmaking. Which, like, I've seen videos, and I also think I've experienced it myself, where it's like, if you're a player with a lower KD, like, people
you do more damage?
People can one-shot. Whereas, like, I'll have to show you the video later. I'll show you the video after this, but, like, I've experienced it myself, and a lot of people are saying it, and so, like...
That's weird.
There's some speculation that, like, it helps players who aren't as good by, like, let's say you shoot them with a shotgun, and it's like, oh, wow, look at all these one-hit kills I'm getting, and my KD's like this. It's really low. But then, like, these more experienced players are like, hey, look at me getting all these hit markers with these shotguns. Like, why is that happening? A I'll show you the video when you go off the air, but like it is very suspicious. I'm not saying that it affects necessarily where I placed it, but I mean I loved it. Again, this nitpicking, very nitpicky stuff. This is another game that I honestly say it's like a 9.5 out of 10. And then my number one game of the year, which maybe it's cheating. I can say that I'm at least like double digits into it now, like hours. Is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Number one, I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I'm a big fan of machine games. I'm still really early in this game, so maybe it's cheating or wrong to do it. But like, I gotta put it there. Like,
yeah, if you like it that much,
I just really love it. I mean, like, I was surprised because again, like, I kind of went into it like not watching a lot of the gameplay, and to go into the like a level, and it's like, oh, here's all this stuff to do in the level, and like the levels aren't too big, but they're big enough where there's a lot to do, and it's just like, I'm just really enjoying it. Troy Baker kills it. Like, it's crazy to me. I think like. Again, the fact that it's Indiana Jones, and I really believe that it's Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
It's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Plus, it's just, like, solid gameplay that you come to expect from machine games. I really loved it. Hated that minigame. Especially the later levels.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad in comparison to other ones. What did Ty say? He said check the Discord. Hold on.
Did he do it?
How do I know that's you? How do I know that's you? Where I don't see any like that doesn't mean anything. Unlock November 3rd, 2024. You unlocked it November 3rd, 2024.
Yeah, this seems suspicious.
This is sus. There's no way this dude was playing Octopath Traveler at the same time as I was while I was talking on the podcast and didn't once say, I'm doing that too right now. That I call bullshit. I need some... This is not enough evidence for me. Deborah, is this enough evidence? This is a Steam achievement list with no username attached to it.
Suspiciously cropped.
Suspiciously cropped. No.
I don't know, Ty.
No, this is a no for me. Ty, you're bullshitting. He's trolling. Ty's trolling. Grade A trolling. Like it's a great job trolling, but no, that's not real. That's a fake. Put that shit on X where it belongs. Misinformation ass motherfucker. Like, get out of here. All right. So yeah, those are the games. My games of the year. Do you have any games you kind of want to highlight as like a game this year that you? I know it's been kind of a slow year for you.
Yeah. Pokemon. I really like the Pikmin.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't make a list. I don't know the games that I played by heart, but nothing really stands out.
See, I'm a nerd. I just like to I like to log my stuff. I think it's cool to kind of reflect at the end of the year.
You also play, like you said, 30
I play a
games.
lot of games.
Yeah.
Again, it's like 30. It's like, you play 30 games? Like, no, that's not enough. I fell short. This year, I'm gonna like really try. Like, I really gotta figure it out. I gotta be better. Real quickly before we get out of here, let's run through the 3 game releases. This is the Game Informer Memorial game releases for the week of January 6th. Accept the truth. It's just not true. You're lying. Sea Fantasy, January 7th on Xbox, consoles, and PC. I can't wait to put that on the grading for next year because it is an exclusive game. Rivnar's Grove for coming out on everything on January 8th. And Sleight of Hand, another Xbox exclusive that will be on the grading list next year. I'm being a smartass. I'm not actually going to do that. It's stupid. A Sleight of Hand is actually my pick. It's like a really gritty, like deck builder, third-person game.
Okay.
Which I'm not really usually a deck builder guy. They showed this off at one of their showcases this year, and I was impressed with it. So I'm going to probably be trying to check that out. I think it's a Game Pass game? Maybe? I don't know. If it's a Game Pass game, good chances I play it.
I don't have one because I don't know anything about any of these games. I haven't, I just Google Sea
I don't know.
Fantasy
I don't know Sea Fantasy or Rivnar's Grove, so I don't know. Anyways, all right, then we're gonna get out of here. This is the Game Room Podcast. Thank you to everyone hanging out with us here tonight. Make sure you like and subscribe. Join our Discord. Follow me on Blue Sky at RomeW. And until next time, we'll see you later.
See you guys. I definitely did not.
No, he definitely did. He's a fucking liar. He's a liar. He lied.